Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Williamson. Welcome to Module 6, The Future of Nursing. And this is your last module in your Issues and Trends course. So I know that this is the module you've been looking for. This module is kind of like a wrap up, and we're looking backwards at what all you've learned. And then we're looking forward to the future just to see where you may be headed. So in this module, what you're going to do is you're going to participate in a discussion board assignment, and it begins with the overview here for the future of nursing, and it talks about the Institute of Medicine report. It refers back to that from 2011. And it talks about some of those groundbreaking changes that it talked about that were going to be coming. And then it talks about where we are today. So hopefully you'll be able to accomplish the student learning outcomes that are listed there for you. And then the learning experiences, you've got several resources in the resources to enhance learning. Let's go to a few of those. I had already opened those for you here, but you've got, it actually links to the report, the Institute of Medicine's report on the future of nursing, leading change, advancing health. So that's actually linked to there. Be sure you just look over this and see what the Institute of Medicine, because you'll hear a lot of that about things that came out of this Institute of Medicine report from 2011, and a lot of people are talking about this now and to where that we're headed in the future. Let me close that one out. There's also a link in the resources to enhance learning to AACN's vision for academic nursing. This came out in January 2019, so it's very new. It's an executive summary. This is a very good thing to look at to see their vision for academic nursing beginning now and into the future. This is the follow-up report that has been assigned to an ad hoc committee now for the future of nursing to take us on into from 2020 to 2030. And this is a consensus study from the National Academy of Medicine. And this is like a follow-up report to the Institute of Medicine study. This is just now starting. So you can see the committee's charge that's on here. All of this is linked to linked for you under the resources, but it tells you a little bit about the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and how they started this campaign and all of these things. You also have a link to the Future of Nursing Campaign for Action, which is through the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and it's also through the AARP. And you'll see that that's a good source to look to review through this website, because you're going to be seeing a lot of things that are related to nursing and building a culture of health and some of the things. This is a very good just introductory video to watch here, and then it tells you some critical areas that they're concerned about as well. So headed back to the module here, that's what's, there's also a link to the to CUSN, and there's a link to the National League for Nursing. And if you go in the National League for Nursing, it also will give some comments on the 2020-2030 report, what the NLN would like to see focused on in that report. So all of these resources are very important for you to read. And then it also gives you some chapters to read in your new nurse educator, mastering academe texts that you have, and then just other readings as you find them after you select a topic that you'd like to cover. So there's a great deal of reading in this module, just as you're looking back. So what we would like for you to do, let me just open up the assignment, what you're going to be doing here for your discussion assignment. Let me see if I think it's right Here's, where is that? Okay, so in your discussion assignment, you'll have, it's called a discussion debate assignment, and it has the information listed there for you. And it says that you're going to review back through the assignments. You can read this. It asks you to read those things that I had mentioned in the AACN vision for academic nursing, and all of those. It has the under resources to enhance learning, and some of the issues that it's saying that you might want to select as what you're going to be discussing. This is some of them that are listed here for you, and all of these issues are issues that these reports say that we're going to be focusing on in the future of nursing. Diversity and inclusion, transition to competency-based education. Someone may be very interested in learning more about competency-based education, because at every conference I go to or every webinar that I've listened to lately, they're really talking a lot about competency-based education and how that other medical fields or healthcare fields are focusing on that, and how they would like to see the shift in nursing come to that. Also, collaboration between education and practice through academic partnerships, and some of that would be related to interprofessional collaboration, an emphasis on faculty development and career advancement, exploring and adopting opportunities for resource efficiencies. And what they're talking about resource efficiencies, they're talking about things like where different healthcare related fields, maybe in academic, that are training healthcare professionals, whether it be in nursing or radiation, or whether it might be something like physical therapy or respiratory therapy, occupational therapy, social work, whatever it may be, physician education, physician assistant education, where it's talking about that some of those resources and opportunities could be shared, where that you would have a simulation lab where it was actually off-site, and you could share those resources efficiently together, and you would share the cost of those between the different areas, so that it wouldn't be such a big hit for one area like nursing. So you'll see some things about that, and just as you're looking in the future, there's going to be more talk of this. How can we be more efficient in the resources that we need? Maybe clinical placements, clinical sites, and things like that. Improving access to care is a big issue that's coming up in the future of nursing. And access to care, that can also lead into some of the things that we've talked about related already to telehealth. Where more telehealth or telemedicine initiatives are going to be going on, to where that it does improve that access to care. Also, building healthier communities, and I would just add in that not just healthier communities, but academic communities, healthcare communities, not just out in our populations, but also in the areas that we work and live. Ethical issues in academic nursing or in the clinical setting. I've already said telehealth. CUSIN initiatives. What are some initiatives that could be coming up? And you can find those out on the CUSIN website. Workplace and academic incivility. Those are big topics that have been for the past, but they're also moving into the future. And then evidence-based practice in the future of nursing. All of that are big topic areas. And so if when you're looking for this assignment, you're trying to figure out what you would like to do, if you would like one of these topics, you just start working on it. Several of you can work on the same topic. I don't mean together, but what I mean is you're not going to have to email me for this to say, hey, I'd like to work on one of these topics. You just choose whichever one you want to work on, because this is something that you are very invested in in and interested in for the future of nursing that you feel like is critical. So I didn't want just to allow one person to work on a topic by themselves. And I would say, no one else can have that topic. But what I do mean by that is, or I don't mean by that is, this is not a group project. So you and Mary next door that are in this class together, y'all both chose diversity inclusion. That doesn't mean you can work together on this. It just means that you can both be exploring your different takes on diversity and inclusion. However, if something that you are very passionate about, that we've studied about this semester, or when you look through all of your reading here, if there's something that you feel very compelled to explore further, if you will email me and let me know, what it is you're thinking of exploring, and let me know, I'll be glad to approve it as long as it's something that would be pertinent, and that shouldn't be a problem. So once you've selected your topic, you're going to search and explore information and data from scholarly websites and databases. So go to the library online and find some articles. You can also see what is linked in the resources to enhance learning. If you can hear the dog, I apologize for him in the background. Since this is an assignment on the future of nursing, we need for you to use your resources that you find, your scholarly resources from within the past 2 years. So be sure that you're not using anything back, because we are talking about the future, so it needs to be something very recent that we're talking about here. That does exclude the seminal report of the Institute of Medicine from 2011. Also, it's going to ask you to reference some of those articles that I had you read in the resources to enhance learning, and some of those may have something older than 2 years on that website, but that would be okay. But what I mean is, don't, of your articles that you are including, your scholarly works, peer-reviewed journal articles, don't make those older than 2 years. And then you're going to develop a discussion post. It tells you here what you're going to include in it, but the initial discussion post, and look at your calendar for the due date and time, it needs to be a minimum of 500 to 750 words. It's not a formal paper, so you are going to introduce your topic to begin with. So at the top, just include your name and the name of your topic. And then go right into your writing for your post. There are 10 points counted for you, including an introduction, explanation, and discussion of the topic that you selected, so that we can understand what you're talking about. Of course, that needs to be scholarly. Identify and support the significance or the importance of your topic for the future of nursing, and that should be from the viewpoint of one of those reports that we talked about in the resources to enhance learning. So what did they say is the importance of that topic? The AAC and the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the Institute of Medicine report, the National Academy of Medicine, cite one of those or all of those. And remember, I don't want direct quotes on this. This is what you're reading and what you are understanding that they are saying about this for the future. And then, so put it in your own words, paraphrase it, and then cite it. And then explain what the importance is to the future of nursing education or practice, and include if there's any controversy related to this topic. Do you know of anything that is controversial in that? Discuss and support it from the literature, what could happen in the future if your topic is not achieved, completed, attained, realized, and so include that in there. Enter into the debate here and provide scholarly feedback to 2 of your peers, and reply to everyone who posts in your forum